Hello everyone, today is another beautiful day and we're visiting our customer Meghan in Studio City. Meghan, hi, how are you? Ferris.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I am so excited for this interview. I've been waiting for this interview with you. It's a pleasure and thank you for allowing to do that.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. I'm thrilled. Yeah, thank you.
That quote on your website, once married, once divorced, now free and found. It just has something meaningful. I was like, I have to meet Meghan. Can you please tell me a little bit about yourself, about your lifestyle, what you do and how you help people?
Absolutely. Thank you for noticing that quote. I love that quote, so I appreciate that. I am actually born and raised here in Southern California. I was born in Los Angeles. Today, I am a mom of 3. As the quote references, I was once married, so I went through a divorce after being with my ex-husband for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we were married for almost 8, and we had our daughters, Leah and Liv, who are now almost 12 and almost 9. But we had been together. I was together with him for, since my sophomore year of college. So very young, very impressionable, very naive. And we got married and started a family. And the relationship just did not materialize in a healthy way. And I think someone told me, people really mature and evolve in their 20s, but we had become a relationship in our my teens.
Right.
I was 19. Instead of us really maturing and growing together, we really, really grew apart and had poor communication skills and just different values and whatnot. And really just an inability to find a way together. Things went apart pretty quickly. But I was so young and I had no friends who had gone through divorce. And so I stayed in the relationship and things just got really progressively worse to the point where I really felt I had to remove my children from that environment. And it was weird, and I feel very weird saying this, but there had been years of stuff. But in 2017, I was at the Las Vegas shooting at the music festival, and I came home after that.
Okay.
Raging PTSD. It was very scary and very grateful to have been alive, to be alive. And he just wasn't there at all. That was my motivation and my aha moment to go, okay, this is really unhealthy. This is really toxic. This is not good for my kids.
This is the time.
Yes, this is the time. And so within 3 months, I finally effectively left the marriage. So then I just spent time really just kind of doing whatever I could to survive as a single mom. First time, nobody in my family's divorced. My parents have been married for forever. And it was really scary. But the interesting thing that happened was as I started to let people know what was happening, friends of mine would call me and say, hey, I have a friend in Texas who's going through something really similar. Can you talk to her? Or I have a sister in Florida and she's going through something. I don't know what to say. I hate him. She's got kids, but I'm not the right person to talk to her. So I started talking to all these women. Then cut to, I always wanted to be married. That was a terrible marriage, but I really, really always wanted to be married. I wanted to give my kids a great family life. I'm surrounded by so many wonderful couples. I put myself out there and I started dating again, and very good friends of mine set me up with Spencer. And so they were like, we have this guy and he's great and we think you guys would be wonderful together. So then I met Spencer, and I had done nothing for my business at that point. I had just talked to people. And then in COVID was a banner year for us. We moved in together, we bought a house, we got pregnant, we got engaged, we got married. But I also started my business during that time, not even realizing that COVID would produce a number of people who needed to desperately get out of their marriages.
So you got found and you founded a business. I mean, this is incredible. Two magical things happened. I heard it was the study about going through a separation and how this actually affects children. I thought this is probably one of the most difficult thing that could happen to any child. Going through a separation. But in fact, the study shows that going through difficulties, ongoing conflicts, fights, and so on. So actually the study showed that separation affects less compared to like ongoing dramas, conflicts. That's really, really affecting kids and leaving a mark for their entire life. The decision you made led you to a happy life. You actually did this, I think, mainly, maybe partially for yourself, but you also did this for your kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they're happy with this change.
They are, and you touch upon something that is very true. It's so dysregulating to be in conflict, and in fact, far more traumatizing than what we think is more traumatizing, which is taking them through divorce. A lot of kids find relief in divorce, shockingly and sadly. And I always ask my clients, what is your thought process about divorce and your children?
Right.
Because sometimes you are actually leaving for them. Like you can't stay in this. You have to leave for them because it's so severe.
Have you ever discussed with your clients, get something that can really distract them from the depression? I'm sure you always advise them to go into yoga, go do sport activities, just to get out of this depression, right? And in particular, I thought having a cargo bike could also help to go through difficulties and through that hardship time. And to me, was like reading your stories, I was like, even deeper connect with your kids. Not just throughout the difficult time, it could actually help tremendously.
We do a lot of list making in my work, so anything from give me your 10 most important traits for an ideal partner to what are if you were to divorce and get to live your life, where would you travel? What would be like the places you would want to go to? And somewhere in between is what are you doing to bring joy into your life? What are you doing to create memories with the close people in your life? What are you doing to connect more with your kids? And so definitely, the thing about the cargo bike is it's just like constant joy.
Right.
That's why I got a yellow one. Because to me, like, it's just joyous. But it's joy. You're making memories and you're having fun, and we attach like a little speaker to it. We can listen to music and, so that is like...
Stay positive.
Yeah, it's so conducive to just good experiences. If it's within the budget and people have the space and the community to, yes, absolutely.
I was thinking yesterday that typically dads are spending the majority of time with kids doing outdoor activities, cycling, hiking. I'm wondering if you would recommend for single moms to get the bike and to actually do what I would say typically dad would want to do, right? I think, as I understood, the main rider is a Spencer, is your husband.
In our house, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I was actually, I was reading your stories and it just opened another avenue for me to think even deeper what this bike could do for single moms.
Wouldn't it be lovely if you could just write in the court documents and you are ordered to get a bike? You are ordered to... Yeah, definitely. I mean, single parenthood is really, really hard and it's very, very stressful, and parenting it's a lot of work with a good partner. Again, it's smile making and it's adventurous and it's outside. And I mean, my background before the divorce world was in nutrition, and it's like, we cannot get enough vitamin D. We need to be outside to make this critical nutrient. And there's so much research on the exposure to the sun and being outside and mental health and depression and all of that. For me, I mean, I attach a lot of my absolute personal value system to my recommendations with you right now. Absolutely, for me, I think is great for everybody because I think spending time outside, being active, doing things that are not always within the home and so like structured is really, really important. And it's really, there's a whole concept of co-regulation when a child can understand and feel the vibrational energy and the stress and almost like the nervous system of their parent. And there is something very calming and soothing about being outside and biking and the fresh air going through. And if you think about the benefits of from a co-regulation standpoint from a child feeling that from their parent, like my parent feels safe, my parent feels happy, my parent is liking this time with me. Oh, I feel good. And I'm really going to remember that as like a very important memory as a kid. That's super important.
Well said. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think it's all about experience that you are going together. There is one experience when you go, like, I don't know, maybe they do certain activities by themselves and you're watching them as well, right? They also feel that energy that you're participating. But I feel like when you are riding a cargo bike, you're doing something together. They also a big part of the journey.
Yeah.
They are controlling the weight distribution. They are just, watching the scenery around. It's so great that you can feel this together. And I think during this time you could also go through very meaningful, quality time together, because when you ride bike and it's just your focus on one particular thing is we're now together, we're on a journey, and this is my focus, right? Can you elaborate a little bit more on this? Have you ever had anything that you remember probably during the bike ride together? Maybe it was like a very special trip that you went through.
Yeah, I mean, we have done many bike rides as a family, and for us, the 5 of us, the 3 kids can sit in the cargo bike. Spencer's normally the bike rider,
right?
But I'm always on my bike. I think for me, I love watching them because everybody's happy. On our way to Munchies. It's like there's my world all together, cruising down the street. Everyone's happy. And like I said, we always have music going, so it's fun. They love waving to our friends as we see them. We have a farm at our school. We will take the bike down to the school. So most of we're not going on these huge destination adventures, but it's very local and it's very sweet. And I think I can close my eyes and remember a time where River, my 2-year-old, was sitting on the bench facing me and just happy as a clam and how cool, riding a bike. Then there's your kid right there.
In front of you.
Right in front of you. Just having the best time. Yeah, it's really enjoyable being the one who's riding the bike, but also watching. It's a very family-friendly activity.
And you got a cargo bike for recreational purposes. Yes. So you still have 2 cars.
Yes. We have a fully electric, and then we have a family car.
Family car. Yes. How did you come up with this idea to you also compare this as eco-friendly, it's much cooler than a golf cart, much smaller, but what was the idea behind? Where did you see it anywhere?
Oh yeah, really I credit Spencer for this idea that then became his birthday gift. When we first moved in together, we lived on the west side in Culver City, and that was it was COVID, it was March, April 2020, and we just lived on bikes. He taught my 2 girls how to ride bikes. We were on bikes all the time, and we'd go down to Venice and Marina del Rey, and people had these cargo bikes. Some of them looked like they were homemade. And then we bought this house, and there's not many in our area, but we're not as close to the beach, and there's not boardwalks, and it's more kind of suburban city life.
Right.
But a very good friend of ours who moved from the west side bought one, and he would drive his 2 kids, or maybe his wife bought it for him, would drive his 2 kids to school in the morning. And so we'd see them cruising around. And my husband's diehard, like, loves bike riding. Our first date weekend, we went on like a bike ride from Culver City to Santa Monica. It was, so I knew he would love it. And he had mentioned like that it would be really cool to get one, but neither of us knew anything about them. And so I did a little bit of research.
And it was just the perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
His birthday was approaching.
Yeah.
And this is what he, mentioned to you.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like planted, but very easy for me to subscribe to. And he's like the number one thing that he's such a good dad, and like nothing gives him greater joy than spending time with our son and the girls and like family stuff. So I like kind of knew I was going to win major points by buying that.
I saw that. Yeah, and you showed me a couple of videos, and he's really into it.
Like really into it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And the kids are too, so that's win-win for all.
What was the first reaction? When the bike, showed up. I think it was a local delivery.
Yep.
He
was not here. So
oh wow.
He was out of town. The bike got delivered. River and I were here. We got the whole tutorial. The guy that brought it was great. And then he was coming home. The girls, they decorated with balloons. Like there was a whole like thing. We had it outside. He walked out and it was like, we went on a bike ride right away.
So everyone participated?
Oh yeah.
Wow. And he didn't expect.
I don't think he was expecting it then. No. Like I think he knew we would get one, but I don't think he was expecting it then.
You mentioned earlier that you saw a different brand. It wasn't a Ferla brand.
Correct.
What happened behind? You start looking for a cargo bike. You're probably like, what's this thing is even called, right? Tricycle?
Yeah, I did not call it. I did not search for a cargo bike.
Right. What did you search? Do you remember, by the way?
I don't. Bike with basket?
Bike with basket. Yeah, that's pretty common. Or a family bike.
Yeah.
Or a bicycle to carry kids.
Yeah.
It's like,
it definitely was not. I did not know it was a cargo bike.
Cargo bike. And it's still pretty weird name, a cargo bike. Because if you type cargo, it's pretty much boxes and, logistics, freights, cargo.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking precious cargo. Like my mom, I was as the oldest, I'd drive like my siblings around and she'd be like, okay, drive safely. You have precious cargo in there. So
precious cargo.
For me, it actually makes sense.
Oh, it does?
Because like I'm putting my kids in there and they're precious cargo from the context of like my upbringing, I guess.
Right.
But you're right.
When the idea came to my mind that I want to bring something cool for kids so they can spend more time outside, I didn't want it to associate like a ferlacargobikes.com, right? I wanted to sound like a family. My marketing team is always conflicting with me because they said like, why we call it cargo? I said, well, because that's the term for it. It's not just happened yesterday. That's how people call them in Europe. That's particularly in Denmark and Netherlands. This is their official name. That's it. It's a cargo bike.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Going back to my question, you physically saw a product, a cargo bike, and it wasn't a Ferla. What lead you to consider and actually make that purchase, Ferla bike?
When I was searching, I didn't realize that there were options of a regular bike and an electric bike.
I see.
So I started to learn more about like the various options. I kind of thought there was just one out there.
Right.
And I think I initially started my search on like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp to see if there were used ones. And
just because probably you were not sure if that's something,
because it's an investment,
right?
I loved your website. Your website was really great. I love that you were local. It seemed elevated in a sense. Like I like the packaging. I like the additional things you could buy. Like I could get everything with you guys. The little box that's under the seat.
Right.
I don't think I saw many others that had that.
Correct.
The rain thing.
Canopy, yeah.
The all-weather protecting. Again, I don't know
the floor mats. Yeah.
Everything, all of it.
Right.
It just seemed really nice. It seemed quality. I love the colors. And yeah, I think your website had a lot to do for my final decision. around which brand to go
Interesting.
with. Yeah.
Did you just
I didn't try one.
try
Like
one?
I never tried it. No.
I am the same way. I do get things sometimes that people usually go and do the test drives and spending like the whole weekend trying different things, like including the cars. I'm like, no, I just want to surprise myself and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I have this internal feeling, I think.
Yeah.
And
And then reviews. I definitely read tons of reviews. Reviews
wow.
are key for me. Yeah, it was just more of a feeling.
have you contacted anyone at Ferla, or was it just a really direct
I just
purchase?
purchased it straight
Just straight.
off the website. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for trusting our brand. Heard many different compliments, but then at the same time, it was weird context behind, because they were like, your website is so nice, so we thought your guys scam.
Oh.
I'm like, that's an interesting observation, right? So
Yeah.
should we make an ugly website?
I did not get that vibe at all. At all.
Right.
No, not at all.
But you knew we're a local.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like to support local, I mean, if I can.
Thank you.
And I think that also gave me comfort too. Like, it's not overseas somewhere, it's local. Like, I could drive there if I wanted to. And I don't know, I like the fact that it was home delivery service was an option. So I thought that was cool. And I think when I bought it too, there was like maybe a Mother's Day or Father's Day package where I think I got some of the accessories or something with it. And yeah.
Meghan, how often are you guys using cargo bike?
In the summer, well, when we move into, this weekend where it stays much lighter longer, we use it a lot. At least 2 to 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it could be part of like an evening thing before dinner. Spencer may take the kids out. A lot of times it's like if we have kids sleep over, the kids want to take them on a bike ride, so we'll go to the donut shop and then we'll drive by someone's house. So it's more of like we got to take them on the bike and show them around, and we got to take them on a ride.
Because they feel very special, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun. It's different, and yeah, it's a great experience. So when the weather's great, we'll try to get out there as much as possible. Lately, it's been so rainy, so and it's darker, and the kids have sports and stuff. But
have you done any shopping?
No, we haven't done shopping, but we've taken it to dinner.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
Yeah, we drove to North Hollywood and went from our neighborhood and
to North Hollywood
under the 170 freeway and went down. There's a big park over there, and I think we ended up going to Pitfire Pizza. Yeah, we went to Pitfire Pizza. And
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great.
All the way?
all the way there, all the way back. Yeah, the lights are nice.
Wow, great. And
because I think we came back and it was dark.
Yeah, and especially when you like ride, to, at night, its reaction from people is like, "What is this?"
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think there's something to that too, that like the kids know it's so unique. No one else has it. It's kind of like when someone starts like and has a new puppy, and they want to go walk it around the neighborhood because it's a cute puppy. So, but it's still that. It still has that same effect for them.
Thank you for promoting cargo bike culture, especially in your area. Like Americans, it's really all about cars.
Oh yeah.
It's just a history thing. We all love cars. I mean, family have at least like 2 cars, some 4, and it's nice to think about other alternatives like cargo bike. Perhaps it can save money for some families, and this is what we try to promote.
Yeah,
it's eco-friendly.
Exactly, and here in Southern California, when the weather is typically pretty nice,
right,
there are not many days where it's not an option to use it. So, like even in our neighborhood, we walk to school. I've biked the kids in the cargo bike to school, and for those that are like on the edge, that walking may be a little too much in the morning, the edge of the neighborhood, or even just one neighborhood over who still go there, like absolutely save gas in the morning instead of driving a car there, and it's fun. Like I keep going back to it being fun because to get a lot of people to be compliant and kids to be agreeable to get out of the house in the morning, you kind of have to make it a little bit fun.
Life is about fun.
You can accomplish a lot. You're like promoting being active, because it's not, even with the bike in electric bike mode, it's still a workout.
Right, it is.
Because the bike's heavy and you're pushing people inside of it. I mean, it's not a walk in the park. The more people you load in, it can definitely be. So you're active, and then you're outside, and it is definitely eco-friendly and enjoyable.
Especially for moms. I mean, they're spending a lot of time, cleaning the house, work, then kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like, sometimes there's not enough time to go and do physical activities.
It's like when you refer to it as like your mission, it is going to be time, take time to see that mission through, because like you said, Americans love their cars, and the grocery store is right across the street. I'm guilty of hopping in my car to go basically like down my street, make a right, and then left into the parking lot. It's crazy. It's nuts,
a habit.
but it's habit, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like shifting people's focus away from that habit to see like an alternative. And I mean, even in this conversation, I'm going, there's like 7 places that I should be taking that more often than my car.
Absolutely. And no need to think about parking, even though like groceries are usually fine with parking, but like you can just park right in the front of their store, like literally by the curb.
Just get a good lock.
Good. Exactly. And you're good to go. You can load anything you want and come back. I think you should try it.
I will. No, I'm going, oh gosh, I should go to the grocery store. Even like drop-offs for the kids at a play date. In many cases, and my kids are rare. My oldest will actually bike ride in our neighborhood to a friend's house, so that's cool. My middle daughter, who I don't quite yet let her go bike riding by herself yet, she has friends that we have play dates, and I drive there, but I could easily take that. I just have to get into the habit of turning to it. Yeah.
Meghan, have you had any issues with the bike?
We had one with the pedal.
Yeah, you showed me.
Yeah. And that was it. They sent us a new one. We put it on. It's been fine.
How was the experience with our customer support?
Fine. Great. I mean, responsive, and sent me, I think they had to send out a new pedal or attachment. Mm-hmm. And I, of course, like before I actually went through the process of fixing it, thought, well, I need someone to come out here and show me, and I don't want to like mess it up, but Spencer did it, and
awesome.
It's fine.
Do you want to share something with our audience and perhaps people that looking to get into the cargo bike culture? Again,
I think most of it just comes back to like it being a really wonderful family activity and great exposure for kids to, our culture just doesn't do as much like family stuff like we used to. Everyone's so busy, or they're on devices, or kids are in like travel baseball early on, so people aren't even home that much. And this is like, you can still go places as a family that originates at home and comes back home, and you have fun like the whole time. So I think that it's a wonderful, but really like a gift to a family, and it's also something that I think, sometimes you have things and like kids, they grow old of it. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we've had it for a year and no one's growing old of it, which is really nice. Because I think that happens a lot with toys and things.
Correct.
It's the new shiny object for a while, and no one really cares about it after a while, and you're like, oh, why did I do that? But it's a bike, and if you have a bike for a long time and it continues to serve its purpose and it's fun, and so it becomes a very worthwhile investment.
Have you thought to advertise your services on the bike?
In terms of putting
your brand out there, yeah. now free and found.
My brand is, yeah, I mean, maybe just my logo.
Right,
Advertising, divorce coaching. I don't know if people are like, it's one of those but it's one of those professions where people come to me in secret, you know, because it's so personal and usually it's not, usually some unpleasant things are happening. But now free and found, sure. Absolutely. I love my brand. I mean, I love my name. So
I love it too.
Yeah.
I was just, thinking about this and people
yeah,
okay, what is that?
Like a car sticker.
Exactly.
For
in the front.
Yeah. I think it would be great for, my husband's business. We've got hats, Regatta Capital hat, Regatta Capital sweatshirts, and we're walking advertisement for
nice.
His brand. And that's really like what logos do. So it's like, it would be great for businesses to put logos and yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You said a beautiful quote, like the difficult roads leads to a beautiful destination, right? What would you say to people if they go through a difficult time at the moment? Like we probably would have people see this interview and some of them could be in that situation, not specifically maybe a divorce situation or a separation, but any difficulties in their life.
Sure. I actually just did a post on my work Instagram yesterday about silver linings.
Okay.
Because for a parent, what their children have to go through if they go through divorce is always like their number one fear. My clients are always worried about their kids. And I always encourage people to look for the silver linings because they are there even in like the really, really hard times. So with divorce or death or a breakup or a really hard conversation with a friend, I always do firmly believe that all those things do happen for a reason. And it's super cheesy and cliche, I know, but going through a very traumatic event can, at the very least, help you learn something more about yourself, or maybe you need to seek help from somebody who then becomes a very important person in your life. Maybe it opens you up to challenging yourself to do something outside of your normal routine. Like I go through a divorce and suddenly I set myself on a yoga surf retreat and I learned how to surf, because I just wanted to get away and kind of decompress. So I think there's a lot of really, hard things I think always happen for some sort of better, higher reason that you don't always see when you're in it. But yeah, there's always a beautiful destination at the end.
Thank you, Meghan.
Yeah.
Such an inspiring input story. Thank you for having me at your beautiful home. It's been a pleasure.
Well, likewise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Here.
You want to do it?
Speaker. Yeah.
Where do you normally sit? Where do you normally sit?
And where do you put your music?
No?
You're good. Here it is.
Here it is. Wow. They just use it.
Use it all the time, yeah. No, it's real it was like really
recreational.
Because our neighborhood, if you do our block,
right,
like we'll go down. We're gone for a while. When I stop at a friend's house or go to the park or
it's just a mile.
Do a lot of loops, but maybe I could put my brand there and his brand there.
Exactly.
But it's funny. River always wants to put his seatbelt on, so I appreciate having the belts. He always puts on his helmet.
Such a beautiful color. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love the yellow.
Combination, yellow and black.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys made it.
Thank you so much.
Great idea.
It's been a journey.
I was going to say...